We head back to the top of the 6th inning where the Oregon State Beavers ahead of the Stanford Cardinal 4-1. And, you know, my partner, whose name is Jordan, you see this? You see these pads right there? He was an elite defensive end for the Stanford Cardinal. And you see him right there. He wants a safety. He's like, come on, give me that safety. Yes, we got that safety. And there he is.
Oh, man, fun times at Stanford.
And there you go. And that's the guy right there. He can play some football. And I will tell you something. I want to ask you a question out here. For all of the young athletes out there that maybe are thinking about when they're a freshman and sophomore and they're an athlete and things like that, did you ever, in your wildest dreams, as you were asking for that safety right there, imagine yourself, as you see a base hit to center field, sitting next to me, some old ugly dude talking baseball and being a play-by-play?
Well, honestly, I did. It's something I was always interested in, and I always tell people when I was growing up in Atlanta, you know, you listen to the likes of Pete Van Wieren, Joe Simpson, Don Sutton, all those guys calling the Braves games, and that's really what piqued my interest in it. And so even when I was a kid, if I was playing video games, I would turn broadcasters off and call it myself while I was playing games. So I always thought about it, but the fact that I'm actually here now is still somewhat unbelievable.
So you really, this is something that if you would have always played around with on your own.
I always thought about it, yeah.
An absolutely beautiful afternoon here in the Bay Area. We're on the campus of Stanford University in one of the most beautiful stadiums across the country, Sunken Diamond, for a matchup between the Oregon State Beavers and the Stanford Cardinal, presented to you by Wendy's. Hi everyone, I'm Jordan Watkins. We're here in the final weekend of Pac-12 season play. And of course, this is game 1 of a series, so you can expect an absolutely phenomenal starting pitching matchup. And starting off with that for Oregon State, it's Kevin Abel, the strikeout machine. 1 strikeout away from his second 100 strikeout season. And it's mainly because of that big hook, the Uncle Charlie, the curveball that he shows. And on the other side, Brendan Beck for Stanford, he's no strikeout slouch himself. 96 strikeouts so far this season. That's second in the Pac-12. And of course, Stanford always expects a good 6 or 7 innings whenever he gets a start. Now, offensively for Stanford, things are a little bit different. They're not trying to keep you in the yard. They're trying to take you out. So far this year, 62 home runs on the season. They only had 4 in just 16 games last year. And the thing is, it's not just maybe 1 or 2 people that can do it. They are up and down dangerous to take you deep. See some of the home runs they had last weekend against Oregon, and they're led in the power category by Brock Jones. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, again, that starting pitching matchup, so excited to see it. We'll have the first pitch, lineups, and more coming your way. First pitch, high chopper on the third base side. That's going to be a tough throw. And give credit to Ducar for even trying to make that close, but Tim Towell beat it out. An infield single for his first hit of the game, the second one overall for Stanford. And there's 1 on with 1 down. I mean, take a look at this off the back foot. That's a strong throw from Ducard. And Towell hustles down that line. He shows that as well by being second on the team in stolen bases, 13 and 14 attempts. And speaking of, now you have a runner on. See what Stanford does here with Brock Jones at the plate. There it goes, Towell. The throw down is in time. Troy Claunch gets him, and a good tag from Armstrong. That's impressive. An off-speed pitch nonetheless, even though it was high and away. A pretty good spot for Claunch to get up out of that catcher's stance. And a good tag from Armstrong at second base. Just like that, bases are empty once again. As a high fly ball belted over to right, and Boyd is just going to watch it fly out of here. Solo home run for Brock Jones, his team leading 13th of the season. And the Cardinal strike first, 1-0 here in the 6th.
So we're still in here with the cardboard cutouts. A couple of familiar faces in here that some people might know. Especially as it translates over to volleyball. I see Catherine Plummer on the far side along near Curie Walsh Jennings. Tiger Woods is in here a few times. I can't tell if they're more Tiger Woods cutouts or Tiger Woods major wins. I haven't decided yet. That block goes out of bounds. Point for Stanford and Luke Turner. He's a freshman from Hermosa Beach, California. As going back to serve. And there you go. See some of the cutouts. They're pretty cool in here. You got some of the fans and family members of athletes that have some in here, along with former prominent Stanford athletes as well. How about that serve? A good job, Grand Canyon, to get it over. And that one hit down hard. Luke Turner. But again, going back to the cutouts, I've seen a couple of Stanford trees in here, a couple of cheerleaders. But I think the best ones of them all, if you didn't know, there's some Pokemon in here that are actually former Stanford fans. There's some Charizard and Pikachu, Ash Ketchum cutouts in here. There's a little bit of everything. Here comes the serve from Nathan Litsky, and that goes into the net, so it'll be a point for Grand Canyon. But Stanford went on a little run. See a couple of the basketball players. Obviously, we would be hoping that they would be playing in terms of the Stanford team this weekend, with it being the first round of March Madness. The women will be playing next week, #1 overall seed. They have some court cutouts in here too. That serve goes out of bounds. Point for Stanford. We're tied at 7. One of the things, though, I must say that's pretty interesting and fun to watch when it comes to having no fans is paying attention to the bench. And already, volleyball, one of those sports where there's a good amount of energy coming from the benches, as Camden Gianni puts that one down for Grand Canyon. But especially this year, they're even a little bit louder, a little more enthusiastic, having a little bit more fun with it on the bench too, if you will. They get to bring your own noise and your own energy.
We are joined, or are we joined by Coach Amy Hogue. Coach, can you hear us?
I can.
Awesome. So let's talk about that decision in that top part of the inning. You had Alyssa Palacios at the plate, then decide to go with Destiny Keelis in the pinch hitting spot. Tell us what went into that decision.
Well, sometimes you get lucky by picking that kid. That kid's been ready to go for a while. You know, she hasn't always produced, but her swings and her at-bats have been earning her the opportunity to get a shot right there. She looked great. So, you know, it's too bad it was one and done, because I'd love her again since we're tied. But we got 2 more games after this. So she looked great, and it was a big hit for us.
And with the decision to bring Morris into the circle, what are you looking to get from her for the rest of this game?
You know, Hallie brings us quick ground ball outs, so I hope the innings are really quick from here on out. Get some ground balls for like 6 outs in a row is the goal.
Well, Coach, if we do not get a chance to talk to you again next game, that will be the 700th game for you as a head coach of Utah. So again, congratulations on reaching that milestone. We'll let you get back to it.
Thanks. Go Utes.
Alyssa Bonstrom coming to the plate. That one high and tight. It almost looked like it went off her bat. They were appealing over to first if she went around, but I heard something make contact.
Let's take a look here. Looked like it might have hit off the glove. That might have been what we heard. She did try to pull back. See, that's tough when your back shoulder's coming forward to square around a bunt. But then your instincts are really to turn inward, to go the opposite direction when something's coming at you like that.
So she did get the bat out the way. It's ball 1. RBI single for Bonstrom back in that first. High again, 2-0.
When we talked to Coach Hogue, too, she mentioned how a lot of people are out of position. You know, Bonstrom had been sort of an everyday player in the infield We're seeing her in the outfield today as well. I think the main thing is just having her back in the order.
And they've had to deal with a lot this year. They've had some contact tracing COVID situations where they've actually had one player miss, I believe she said, what, 45 straight days, something along those lines. They've had a lot of injuries. So they're just trying to almost like the good old math strategy, right? Plug and chug and see what works.
Yeah, and even that player, she said, missed 45 days. Never tested positive.
Right.
Actually, just through contact tracing, had to do that.
Rush to center field, and that is way out of here. Home run. Alyssa Bonstrom, welcome back to the lineup.
Talk about making an immediate impact. This is big time. I mean, the solo shot, Bonstrom lets him know, hey, this is what I can do when I'm able to be back in this order.
Something about the 5th inning in this series and home runs. Take a look at that swing, absolutely crushed.
Yeah, you cannot miss over the plate in this conference. Everyone will capitalize. Beautiful swing, smooth, straightaway center field, pretty much the deepest part of the ballpark right there.
I'm happy I didn't park out there. I saw some of the cars, and that one got a little close.
Yeah, I went over the second fence actually out there.
Both teams now await to see what their fate will be when May 31st comes around, 9 a.m. Pacific time for the selection show. And of course, at the end of this year, it's a big thank you to everyone involved with the Pac-12 conference this year. Of course, we always talk about it. This is the Conference of Champions, but this year you really understood why it's more than just champions in the arena. It is out as well. So much sacrifice has been made with the pandemic, people talking about social justice and everything in between to make this happen. To the athletes, to the coaches, SIDs, trainers, you name it. Thank you for all the sacrifices that you have made to make this year another success in the long line of successful years in the Pac-12 conference.